Hey guys, it's Laura. I am back with another video, and I decided that this time around I wanted to do a challenge or a tag. So I found the new to Booktube tag. I can't even say that. New to Booktube tag. New to Booktube tag. New to Book. I found the new to Booktube tag from between chapters, and I can link that below. I thought that would be a fun way to get to know me and kind of introduce myself to the booktube world and try to get a little bit more comfortable talking into a camera. So here we go. I right now am in Houston, Texas, but I am a Detroit native. I moved down to Houston just over a year ago to pursue my graduate degree and be a live-in nanny. Submitted my last project for grad school yesterday. Fingers crossed, everything went well, and I'm done. I am 25 years old. I decided to start a YouTube channel in general because for the past year or so I've been paying attention to more family vlogs and just a few other YouTube personalities that are out there. But just recently I found out that there was this area of YouTube called BookTube, and it makes so much sense. And as a book lover and now someone with a master's in publishing, I thought this would be a great way to make connections and hear what everyone is having to say about the book world. I think this and Goodreads are two of the most beneficial ways to see how people are reacting to books and trends in books and publishing. So I wanted to be a part of that. And like I said, I'm a nanny and I moved all the way from Michigan to Texas. So I don't know very many people down here. And this is a great way for me to be able to talk about something that I love and get to know more people, even though I usually just talk to a toddler all day. My channel's name is Just Laura, and it's pretty much that. I started the channel because I am going through my whole quarter life crisis, graduating again, trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life. And the one thing I know for sure is that I am Laura. That is all I know. I just know that I'm Laura, and I'm trying to figure out everything else. So the name of the channel seemed pretty simple, Just Laura. I read a lot of different books. I read everything from young adult to poetry. I love the classics. I've recently started reading more memoirs and autobiographies, and I have been doing a lot of children's reading as well. We've been doing a lot of Dr. Seuss and Disney princess books and a lot of Chicka Chicka Boom Boom with Cameron for bedtime stories. This one's difficult. I am more of a book-to-book fan than an author fan. I have really been enjoying John Green lately, which probably doesn't come as a surprise. He's amazing. Mitch Albom is a Detroit native, so I'm always a fan of reading his work. That's really about it. I don't have too many like all-time favorite authors, just books. This is a little different. Like I said, I just finished grad school, so I have, this is technically the last book I read. It is the Norton Anthology of Theory and Criticism. As you can see, I am poor, so I needed to rent it on Amazon, and it needs to go back like yesterday. It's huge, and I would never read this for fun, but I learned a lot. And then for fun, for the past like month or so, I've been going back and forth between schoolwork and reading poetry by Mary Oliver. She is wonderful. This book, 1,000 Mornings, not only is beautiful, it reminds me of Ansel Adams. her poetry is simple, beautiful. I really loved it. I can't wait to read more of it. But this has been what has been keeping me sane at night instead of just reading all of those essays on poetics. I am actually reading my first audiobook right now, and it is through audible.com. I got a free book through another YouTube channel that was working with Audible, and I chose to read Amy Poehler's Yes Please. I figured I should read a book that the voice was undeniable and there was a character in it, and it was kind of one of a kind. I've just been really impressed with Amy Poehler, her work with young women, her sense of humor, her writing. She's fantastic. I've got a girl crush on Amy Poehler. I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to her speak her own words. She also had people like Seth Meyers and who else comes in? I think Tina Fey. Her parents are in it. It's just a wonderful variety of voices, and it's very unique to her. So I'm loving it so far. I'm almost done with it, and it was definitely a good choice for my first audiobook. I don't really have too many bookmarks. I mean, I have them. I get them as gifts, but I never want to use them because I don't want them to like get ruined or anything. I know that probably sounds really crazy. Why would they get ruined in the middle of a book? But I'm weird like that. Also, I forget sometimes. Like, I always just grab what's closest to me to be a bookmark because I read until I'm half asleep, and it just whatever goes in the page goes in the page. So usually I use the sleeve of the book cover if I'm reading a hardcover book. If not, I've been using these lately. These are my business cards. I have a subscription box business that I started back in February, and it's called Bundles of Joy, and it's for little kids. I have a video on it somewhere, but how cute are these? They're mini business cards. I love them, and they're bright and colorful, and they're durable, and I just have them all around my room because I always need them. So I have been sticking these in between the pages, and they're bright, fun, and multi-purpose. Oh, geez. Okay, TBR pile. I have a massive TBR pile, but I kind of have to organize it and figure out what's going to be read soon, what's going to be read later. I just went to the bookstore actually today because I finished grad school yesterday, and as a present to myself, I decided to buy books because I have an addiction. I'm trying to decide what will be first, what has to wait, because I already have so many to-be-reads on my bookshelf, and now I have these new ones, so I have to mesh them all up together, and I'll get back to you on that one. Hardcover, paperback. I usually prefer paperback at first, and then if I find that I really love a book, I will eventually go back and get it in hardcover, or if it's the beginning of a series, I'll get it in hardcover and get the rest of the series in a hardcover. When it comes to ebook or actual physical book, I am physical book all the way. The smell of books and pages is just amazing to me. I love getting to turn the page when you want to know what happens, like a literal page turner. Love that feeling. There's just nothing like a book. And I enjoy borrowing books from friends, but I'm definitely someone who needs to own the book if they like it. Like, I can't get a book at the library and enjoy it and then want to give it back because I'm like a 2-year-old with a toy. Like, no, it's mine. I want to keep it. It sounds awful, but it's the truth. I need my own version. I think it's wonderful when friends let you borrow their books because they're sharing these wonderful stories. You can give it back. You can talk about it. But in the end, I want my own. This is kind of a funny story. No, it's not a funny story at all. Sorry, got you excited. It's a funny question though for me because I have always been into reading. I remember kindergarten especially being that year where I was mesmerized with every book that my teacher read. The first book I vividly remember sitting and listening to a teacher read in class was Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. That and We're Going on a Bear Hunt. Those two are my first real memories of reading books. And then my first chapter book, though, that I loved, and it was the reason that I wanted to start learning how to read, I couldn't even really read it all yet, was The Witches by Roald Dahl. My kindergarten teacher read that to us after recess, and I fell in love with it. Even his sketchy little drawings, it was magical to like close my eyes and see the witches in their conference and think about how scary it would be. And following that, my mom read me, still to this day, one of my favorite books ever, George's Marvelous Medicine. And I think once I ran into Roald Dahl, it was over for me. The rest is history. I actually discovered BookTube through a job. I just got my master's in publishing, so I'm trying to kind of sneak into the freelance world of editing and proofreading. That's really my niche. I love it. It's so dorky, but I love grammar. And I was doing some research. I promise I wasn't stalking you, Tammy. I was doing some research on the author. I wanted to know a little bit more about her before I started reading her book and critiquing it. So I went to her website, and she had a YouTube channel for BookTube. So I decided to watch a couple of those videos, and I was really intrigued, very interested, and I couldn't believe that there was a community on YouTube talking about books, and I didn't know about it. So Tammy Farabee is the author's name. She is wonderful. She has, like I said, she has a channel, and I can link it below. And she has a book coming out soon called Outsiders. You should definitely check it out. I feel so honored that I already got to read it. It's a young adult book, but I will let you go over to her channel so she can talk to you more about it. I don't want to give away anything, but she is the reason why I found BookTube, and I am very grateful for her. I think for my channel, the biggest challenge will be figuring out how I want to share whatever I want to share. I definitely want to share BookTube videos. I love books. This is a really big part of my life. But I also am interested in possibly doing some vlogging. I think that it's really cool that people are able to look back, 4 years down the road and see what they were doing on a certain day and watch their babies take, these different steps. And as a nanny, I'm really starting to understand how important day-to-day life is, and it's so special, and I want to capture that as much as I can. You can find me on Twitter, Goodreads. I mean, really Twitter and Goodreads for this purpose is really where you can find me, and I will put those links below. Thank you so much for watching this new To Booktube tag that I did. It was a lot of fun. It was good practice to talk in front of this camera and pretend that there are people on the other side. So again, if you have any suggestions for books or tags, I would be so happy to hear them, and I can't wait to put up another video. Thanks. Bye.